I was a YouTuber before this, right? And I did that, but it wasn't fulfilling, and I wanted to do something more with my life. So I wanted to take some time off and come to join Sadhanapada so I can gain that clarity to figure out what I want to do with my life.
That was the short answer. If you're watching this video, then you're here for the long answer. Namaskaram everyone. My name is Manasan. I was a participant in the second batch of Sadhanapada, the 2019 batch, and I know many of you are interested in Sadhanapada or you're looking into it. You want to participate, but you don't really know what it's about, or you have a lot of questions about it. Many of you might be like on the verge of applying for Sadhanapada, but you don't have that final last push, or you're not sure. So I decided, why not make a YouTube channel and talk about my experiences in Sadhanapada. Since I've been there, I've gone through the program, it might be a lot more helpful for you. I might have a lot more insight that you might be looking for the program. So I thought, why not start off with why I joined Sadhanapada in the first place. So in this video in particular, we'll cover it in 3 different parts, okay? First one's going to be the initial reason as to why I joined Sadhanapada. Second one is going to be how I knew Sadhanapada was going to work. And the third one will be how it actually worked out for me. Now, to give you some background in my life, I'm someone who went through school and everything. I never really enjoyed it. I was really only there in school to hang out with my friends and talk to people. I didn't really care about academics too much. I was doing well in school. I was, I always got good grades until high school. High school dropped off a little bit, but I was not interested in academics whatsoever. And then eventually when it came to go to college or university, I actually did not go. I didn't go. That caused some issues with my family. But instead, I had a YouTube channel running in the back where I would make videos on Pokemon. Now, Pokemon is something I really enjoyed as a kid. I grew up loving it. I played it all the time. I knew so much about it. So since the age of 16, I was working on a YouTube channel, okay? By the time I left high school, I was making enough money to the point where I had money for everything else I needed, basically. And it was only increasing from there. My revenue was going up and up and up. And I knew if I took this further, I'd be pretty much set, at least for like the next 10 years or so. 5 to 10 years, I would say. It was going pretty well, alright? So while I wasn't in school, I didn't have a degree or anything crazy like that, I was pretty much doing exactly what I wanted to do with my life, okay? An 18-year-old, if they have a YouTube career playing video games, that is like a dream come true, alright? And trust me, for me, it was at that time. There could be nothing better than just doing what I loved, doing what was fun for me, and making money while doing it. Making a living while doing it, But despite all of this, I knew I was missing something. Like something I just couldn't grasp or couldn't understand or couldn't put like my finger on, And I was missing this all throughout my life. Because one of the major reasons why I wasn't into academics in the first place was because I never understood the point of just earning money. So academics to me, as it was like, told to me, was you go to school to get a good job, to earn more money, to live well, and then you earn more and more money to live better and better and better. As a kid, I didn't understand this because, I was running around and I was happy and I was already living a good life. And all throughout my life, most of my life, I would say I was living a good life. And, with this job, I was definitely living a good life. I had the job I wanted and I was earning money. But that's not it for me. That wasn't it for me. I knew if I kept going with this and I just kept earning money, like more money, it wasn't going to be fulfilling whatsoever. On top of that, I also knew that if I wanted to progress with my YouTube channel, or if I wanted to progress in other aspects of my life, I was going to need balance. Because from the very get-go, okay, of my life, if there's one thing I was lacking, it was balance. As a kid, emotional balance was out the window, okay? If anyone insulted me, I'd cry on spot. It was like that. Physical balance, I've never had in my life. If you ask me to do anything like physically related, no. I don't have that kind of balance. I can't play hopscotch. I can't jump rope. I couldn't, balance on one leg. Those things were impossible for me. And then when it came to adult life, again, physical balance was out the window. Mental balance was a huge issue. That was a big struggle for me because I couldn't juggle the various different aspects of my life around properly. So if I wanted to make a YouTube video, I'd make a YouTube video and then another and then another and then another, but then I'd be denying the other aspects of my life, like family and friends and whatever else, right? I'd just be focused on that one thing. Now, when I shifted my focus to something else, like friends, for example, I'd just be friends, and I would just ignore YouTube completely. That was YouTube and family, everything, okay? So it was like this for everything. You have to manage everything at once, you know? You can't just drop one thing, drop one aspect of your life, put it in the back seat, and then expect it to go well. You gotta manage everything at once, and I wasn't able to do that. And like, that to me was a sure sign that I was lacking balance. If I have to give you one more example when it comes to balance, emotional balance from when I was a kid to when I became an adult, you know, it became a lot better, especially outside. I could handle insults and everything fine, that's whatever. But when I came home, I was volatile as anything, okay? Like, I was crazy volatile in the sense that with my parents, I just snapped like this. Whatever they did, whatever they said, whatever they didn't say, it just pissed me off. Okay, that's how it was. Oh, it's funny to think about now. Anyways, so with that, I knew I was lacking balance. And from what I was saying earlier, I knew I was missing something. And I also knew that, like, my YouTube career, as fun as it is, long term, it was not going to fulfill me whatsoever. It just wasn't. So knowing that I was lacking those two things, balance and clarity, I mean, it was like a no-brainer, right? Balance, clarity, intensity is pretty much like the slogan of Sadhanapada. So I thought it'd be very fitting to go. But of course, you know, why did I choose Sadhanapada out of all things? Why didn't I go for some other program by some other institution or something? Or why didn't I just work at it at home, which is probably one of the big questions you guys are asking. So one thing is, at this point in time, I've already gone through a few Isha programs, and I know that whatever tools have been given to me through those programs, like Shambhavi, for example, it's already helped me in so many ways. It's helped me in incredible ways. See, whatever emotional, physical, and mental balance I've been talking about prior to going to Sadhanapada, okay, it already got better because of Shambhavi. So take what I said about my balance before and just make it like 10 times worse, okay? That's where it was before Shambhavi, pretty much, I would say. So as I was talking about my emotional balance before, right? My emotional balance before Shambhavi, I was also pretty volatile outside of my house. When I started doing Shambhavi and all, that dropped drastically. Pretty much I wasn't volatile at all outside of my house. Inside, it also decreased, to be fair. It also decreased a lot, but I was still having outbursts here and there. Definitely not as much as before, but you know, I still didn't have the balance I was looking for. But I know at this point that, you know, Shambhavi works. The various other tools that I've been given through Isha, they work. And one of the biggest reasons that I decided to go was, it's free. It's absolutely free. If I had to pay, I don't think I would have gone, to be honest. I don't think I would have considered it at the time. But I know that I know whatever Isha's offering is going to be helpful. I know it works, which is the main thing. And it's free. I don't know how many people know that it's free. I think it's a common thing at this point that everyone knows that Sadhanapada is free. But in case you didn't know, yeah, Sadhanapada is free. And I've been to the ashram before this, and I know how well the ambience is in that place. I know how well that place is kept. And I know if I'm there for 7-8 months straight, that I'm being provided a very focused and committed atmosphere that I'm definitely not going to get at home, okay? If I'm at home and I'm trying to work on balance and clarity, there's no one to support me. I can ask my parents for help, I can ask my friends for help as much as I want, but the atmosphere is not made for that. It's really not. But there, every bit of the Isha Yoga Center is designed for growth. Everyone there, every single person you meet there is committed to the growth, their own growth and everyone else's growth. That's the whole purpose of volunteering. That's the whole reason why they're there. So I knew that if I went there, I just have support that I won't have anywhere else. And that's support that I definitely needed. I wouldn't have gotten to where it was after Sadhanapada without that support being there for me. So yeah, ultimately I knew if I wanted to get anywhere in life, balance and clarity were very much needed, and I just needed help. I needed help and support getting those two qualities. And seeing how focused and committed the ashram is, I knew there's no better place than the ashram. So I decided to sign up for Sadhanapada because it's a free program. what else can you ask for? You know, food is free. The food is amazing, by the way. Food is free. Everything's pretty much taken care of for you. They'll tell you exactly what you need to do in order to grow and improve. And as long as you listen, you'll come out much better than before. Now, how did I know this was going to work? I'm talking about all these things, but of course, how did I know this was going to work before I signed up for it? Like I said earlier, I visited the ashram for a month in 2018, I believe. I must have been there for less than 28 days now, I'm thinking about it, but I was there for essentially 4 weeks, okay? While I was there, the first batch of Sadhanapada had pretty much just started. I went in August, so they must have been just a month into their program, okay? Now, when I went there, I had no clue that Sadhanapada was a program. I thought, when Sadhu was talking about Sadhanapada, I thought he was talking about a certain time in the month. A certain time of the year. I didn't know he was talking about a whole program. And a program that was free. I had no idea it was free. If I had known that, I probably would have gone at that time, to be honest. But if I hadn't waited, I wouldn't have been so sure that the program was going to work for me. So I guess it worked out in that sense. And what I mean by that is, because of my 1 month trip to the ashram, I actually got to interact with a good number of the first ever Sadhanapada batch, the first ever participants. And while I was there, I asked them about, okay, how is it going for you? How's the program? Have you noticed any changes within yourself? And everyone across the board, everyone was telling me that they're experiencing growth that they otherwise wouldn't have imagined possible if they were at home, if they were doing something else, if they're at their job, whatever else. They just couldn't imagine this level of growth in just 1 month's time. And then as I was with them, I was just with them for 4 weeks, right? Various different people. And those 4 weeks, even I could notice a difference within them. The way they were handling things, the way they were with me, how involved they were with me. To give you somewhat of an example, okay? One of the girls that were participating in the program, she was there. We were making neem and turmeric balls together, and then I knew she was a Sadhanapada participant, and I was so eager to know about the ashram. I didn't know anything about the ashram or anything, and I was just asking her so many questions about the ashram and Sadhanapada and all of this. And for some reason, I assumed she had all the answers. I asked her the most absurd and stupidest questions you can imagine. Okay, I asked her everything and anything possible about the ashram, and she the entire time was smiling, did not get irritated once, did not get mad. She was smiling throughout the whole thing, and that's the kind of balance it brought to her. And she was telling me that. Actually, one of the questions I think I asked her was, how are you able to answer my questions this well and, stay this balance? And she was telling me it was all thanks to the program and everything. And she wasn't like that 1 month ago. And I observed her and a few other people throughout the month I was there, and they were just improving as I was watching them. So because I saw these people and because I visited the ashram, I knew for a fact it was going to work for me. And going to the program, coming to how it worked for me, without a doubt, I can say, yeah, it the level of growth that I've gone through in 7 months. I actually stayed there for a few months afterwards, but the level of growth I went through for Sadhanapada, that 7 months time, unbeatable. Whatever growth I've gone through in that program, I don't think it's something you can necessarily gauge from the outside or see the extent of it from the outside. Because if I talk to my parents, they definitely notice something within me, but I don't think they'll be able to tell you exactly what's happened. Or even if you ask my mother, she'd probably tell you it was a waste of time that I went to India for a whole year and stayed there. If you ask my father said like I'm looking a lot more happy and everything. But even with him, I don't think he's noticed what exactly has happened within me or the amount of growth I've gone through. My friends, without question, have not realized or not noticed anything. They actually tell me that nothing's changed within me. But they get a bit more irritated with me nowadays, so since something's changed between us, I can tell they notice some kind of change within me. If I had to tell you right now in this video what's happened to me, or how it's worked for me, rather, the level of involvement that I have with people, it was already good before, I would say. I was pretty involved with people, but the level of involvement I have with people and just the tasks at hand and whatever I'm doing at the moment, that's like exceptional compared to before. I don't think I've experienced this level of involvement. This level of involvement was just not there. Involvement might sound like a small thing to some of you, but involvement is life. You know, you can't live if you're not involved in life. Life is involvement, and that's something I definitely took away while I was in Sadhanapada. When it comes to balance and clarity, yeah, balance is the platform's a lot more stable. Is it 100% stable? Definitely not. Am I still working towards it? Yeah, I am. But that level of stability that I achieved, not possible. It wouldn't have been possible without a question of, without a doubt, it wouldn't have been possible at home. When it comes to clarity, I'm clear as to what I'm doing now. I'm clear as to what I'm doing now, and I'm clear as to what I want to do next. Okay? What I want to do 5 years from now, what I want to do 10 years from now, all that stuff is still a big question mark. But I do have a lot more clarity in those aspects, and more so than that, I have a lot more clarity about myself in terms of my limitations. I can see them much more easier. I can see what I want out of my life. Maybe I don't know exactly what I do in my life, but I know what I want out of it. And yeah, I can see so many limitations. I think that also might not sound like a great thing, but it really is, because now that I'm able to see my limitations and I know exactly what I need to cut off, what I need to work on, and all of that, growth is just it's the constant thing for me. Because once you see your limitations, you want to break them, right? The problem is when you don't see your limitations. But when you see your limitations, okay, you know you gotta break that next. You gotta break the next one, the next one. And because of that, it's just like a constant. I'm constantly growing. I'm constantly looking to grow. I'm constantly growing. And while it was growing before, it was not to the same extent, without a doubt. And for those of you especially that are considering Sadhanapada, but you know, you don't have that final push, or you don't know whether to take that last step, I highly, highly recommend that you do. Because especially with the times we're in right now, especially with the pandemic, especially with COVID and all, if you feel as if you're stagnating in life, if you feel as if there's not much growth happening, there's not much to do, not any of that. If you go for Sadhanapada, you'll look back on your life and you'd be like, I made the best decision, especially in the time you're in right now. There's no better decision to make than going for Sadhanapada. If I could go for it again, I would go for it again, but I can't. So I'm done with the program. And yeah, that you'll definitely look back and say it's one of the best times of your life. Even if you don't look back at it and say it's the best time of your life, probably every time coming should be the best time of your life. So maybe you won't say it's the best time of your life looking back at it, but without a doubt, you'll say it's like the foundation for your life, okay? Once you go through Sadhanapada, whatever you hit there, there's no falling down from it. That's just your baseline. From there, you're just gonna go up and up and up and up. You can't fall down from that line, ever. So again, please do let me know how this video has helped you out. If you want to see more, please let me know. And let me know exactly what you want to see. And I'll try to provide the best content I can, okay? Namaskaram.